Did you know burnout isn't just about being tired? For a lot of CEOs, burnout actually shows up as profit leaks. Every hour you spend putting out some fire is an hour you're not spending on building your business. Today, I'll show you 7 signs that shows that you might be burnout or you're going towards burnout, and how to stop them to protect your peace and your profits. Hi, I'm Dr. Loretta Justin. Welcome to the CEO of You playlist, where I help women entrepreneurs in healthcare build profitable, burnout-free businesses. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm so glad you are here. You've just joined a community of powerful women who are learning to lead differently. We're leading with clarity, confidence, and profit. And to my returning divas and divos, thank you again for coming back and for all the love you're showing me on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscription button and that notification bell so you never miss any future episodes. To get started, I'm going to share with you a story. A few years ago, I was on my way to burnout. My life looked really successful on the outside. I was growing my practice, doing pretty well, growing my organization called Optometry Divas, and running a household with my husband and my kids. I was a wife, a CEO, a mom, a sister, a friend, a daughter, and the list goes on and on and on and on. I was trying to be everything to everyone, and frankly, it was getting very exhausting. On paper, it looked good. The revenue was really good. My schedule was booked, and I was getting a lot of awards for my success. But behind the scenes, I was exhausted. I was working 60, sometimes 70 hours a week just to manage everything. Every decision, big and small, landed on my desk, answering emails, replying to staff, replying to vendors. It was just so much. And I clearly remember one night I was sitting in my kitchen and I had my laptop in front of me and I was working, answering emails, like I said, and I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I probably was answering an email. It was around midnight and my family was sleeping and I was still up, just trying to finish the work for the rest of the day. And that week when payday came, I realized that after I had paid my staff, after I had paid my vendors, and all of the bills that you need to operate your businesses, there wasn't a whole lot left for me, certainly not equal the amount of energy I was putting out. That was the moment that I realized I wasn't just tired, I wasn't just busy, but I was operating in what I now call exhaustion economy. That's when you pour everything out into your business, you give everything you have, but you get very little in return. And I'm wondering if maybe you felt that too. And that's why today I want to talk to you about the 7 signs you should watch out for in your business that could indicate that you are on the verge of burnout. I want to show you how to spot them before it costs you your health, your peace, and your profits. 7 signs of burnout. What are they? Especially if you're a CEO or an entrepreneur in healthcare and you own your own practice. This is an important thing for you to be aware of, to know if you are heading in a direction where you could lose your peace, where you can completely burn out in your business. So I'm going to talk to you about those 7 signs so you can know what they are and know how to handle them. The first one is working more than 50 hours a week. I know a lot of times as CEOs, we think that we have to put in more, or we have to be in the grind, as we say a lot of time. But there's a lot of research that shows that if you spend more than 50 hours working, productivity actually does not go up. I remember pulling 12-hour days in my clinic, then coming home only to have to answer emails and for my patients or my staff or my vendors. You know, I wasn't being productive just because I was staying longer. I thought I was being a dedicated leader, but I wasn't. What really happened is my energy began to tank and I wasn't there for my family, and I really was not leading my business the way I wanted to. I was leading not from a place of abundance, but from a place of complete burnout. So my key for you, if you're always working, you're not necessarily building a profitable business, because profit is more than just dollar sign. There's a lot that comes into profit. So if you're working all the time, certainly more than 50 hours a week, then you need to look back for ways to cut down on that, because that is one of the signs that you're heading towards burnout. So number one sign that you could be heading towards burnout is working more than 50 hours per week. If you're doing that, start looking for ways to cut that down. Number two sign that you could be going towards burnout is if you're making more than 30 decisions per day. Decision fatigue is a real thing, guys. That's a real thing because it uses up your energy. From approving invoices and answering all the questions from your staff, if you are in a clinic like myself, answering all the questions from your patients, by lunchtime, you're going to be completely drained. I once had a staff come into my office, ask me what color pen we should order for the practice. I mean, really, I nearly lost my you know what. And, in reality, it wasn't because the staff asked me that question. It was really just because I was just exhausted of having to make all of these little decisions every day. If you feel like you have to answer so many different little things every day from your staff, from your vendors, everybody's asking you, how do I do this, doctor, how do I do that? And they come to you all the time, you are going to go through decision fatigue. And that's going to become a real thing. And that's going to cause you to start feeling burned out, because you're using your energy a lot of times on questions and answering questions and solving problems that is not at the level of what you should be doing as the CEO of your business. So if you're answering more than 30 questions per day, you need to start looking for a system that can answer those questions for you. Start looking into automating, writing those answers down so that people can reference what you've already written down. Create an SOP if you don't have one to answer those questions for you, because your energy is valuable. Sign number 3 that you may be heading towards burnout is not paying yourself first. Really, I should have put this one as number 1. And that one is a big one for me, because that is one of the ones that hit me really hard. I'll never forget the first time that it really, really hit me after I paid everybody, my vendors, I paid my staff, I paid all my bills, and I'm looking at what's actually coming my way. And my practice generates quite a bit of revenue. So it's not that we don't generate revenue, it's just there was not much of it left for me. And I know sometimes it may feel noble that you pay everybody first and pay yourself last, as if you're sacrificing yourself for the greater good. But that's not real leadership. That's just survival. And we didn't create a business to survive. We created a business to thrive. And that's what I'd like to see for you. So remember this, you deserve to be compensated first. Pay yourself first. Well, that is definitely life-changing. It changes everything. A lot of times when I talk to practitioners who are experiencing burnout, that is one of the big things that I notice. They don't pay themselves first, so they don't feel rewarded for all the work that they do. So if you're not paying yourself first, after you watch this video, I want you to start paying yourself first. So sign number 3, not paying yourself first. Definitely needs to stop doing that. Sign number 4. Sign number 4 that you may be going towards burnout is you are putting out fires every day. Let me ask you a question. Are you a firefighter CEO? In the early days of my practice, I used to joke that I was the chief everything officer. That's what CEO stand for, because I was the person who had to solve all the problems, like I was telling you. And then I had a lot of fires that I had to put out every day. Whether it's a patient issue, a billing glitch, something is happening to the software, or we need to order a particular supply, or there's a vendor that has a question. There was constantly a fire that needed to be put out. The problem is firefighting keeps you in reactive mode, and you can't build a vision when you're holding a hose every day, trying to stop all the fires from consuming you. And the longer you stay in firefighter mode, the more burnout you're going to create for yourself. So ask yourself, are you a firefighter in your business? Are you constantly putting out fires? If you are, there's a big sign that you have a system issue. You do not have the right system down that will tell people what to do and how to do it right. You need a standard operating procedure manual to help your staff know what to do. And also too, you need to learn how to let them solve problems on their own, so you're not always the one who has to solve the problems for them. If you're constantly putting out fires, you're not going to have the energy that you need to lead them into the vision and to build the successful business that you deserve. So if you're a firefighter CEO, it's time to put the hose down. And that leads me to sign number 5, not having enough boundaries. For example, answering emails at midnight, coming into work in the weekend, answering emails on vacation. When you do things like that, when you don't put boundaries for yourself, it drains and leaks your energy. Sometimes that cycle of exhaustion can feel like dedication, because you're on vacation with the family, but you wake up a little bit earlier so you can check the email and make sure that everything is answered. But that is just another thing that's draining you, and that's going to lead to burnout, especially if you're not paying yourself first. Boundaries are very important. I had to institute one for myself. Like the boundary that I created for me, one of the ones that I do every week is I do not work on Saturdays. It is not a religious thing. It is just my choice. Saturdays, I don't do any work. I don't answer email. I don't open my phone. I don't open my computer. From sun up to sundown, I do everything else, whether it's clean my house, hang out with my family, bake something, go out, go shopping. It doesn't really matter. Watch TV all day. Saturdays, I do not work. And that really, really helped me a lot when it came to burnout, because that was a great boundary that I created for myself. So I want you to think about the things that you do every day and think about what boundaries can you create for yourself so you are not leaking energy that could lead to burnout. And so you are not solving all of your staff problems and being in firefighter mode all the time. So boundaries, think of one that you can implement in your practice and in your life. Number 6 is exhausted but can't stop. You ever laying down in bed and all of a sudden you think about the email you needed to send out today. It was a deadline that you need to do it, so you have to get back up, you have to go do it. It's okay, that happens like once a while, but when this becomes a habit, there's always one more thing. There's always one more to-do list, and it has to get done right now. What I've realized is that it doesn't matter how many times I get up and go do it, that list never ends. So that exhausted but you can't stop is not a great way for you to continue your business. That will definitely lead you into burnout. If you're staying up late to watch another continuing education lecture, or you're traveling a lot, things that you really could take a break from sometimes, but feel like I need to do it so I could stay on top of the business, so I can stay on top of what's happening in my industry. So the exhausted but can't stop, that can cause a lot of energy leak, and that will definitely lead to burnout. Again, implement some boundaries so you can create time where you refresh yourself. And sign number 7 is that your business depends entirely on you. Meaning you can't go anywhere without your business cannot function. That happened to a friend of mine. She was sick for a little while, and while she was sick it was about a 3 weeks time, the practice literally could not function because she was not there. It's as if no one else knew what to do without her. That's very dangerous, because when everything depends on you, that's not freedom, that's a trap. Honestly, if everything depends on you and your business, that's really not a business. That's just really a very expensive job that you have. And that is definitely a recipe for burnout. So if you're finding that all things are depending on you and your business, it's time for you to start looking for ways to automate, to systemize, so that people can function without you. So What are the 7 signs that can mean you're heading towards burnout? Number 1, working more than 50 hours per week. Number 2, making more than 30 decisions per day, especially in the small little things. Number 3, paying yourself last. We can all agree we can put that as number 1. Number 4, putting out fires daily. Number 5, not having the proper boundaries for yourself. Number 6, being exhausted, but you can't stop. You just got to keep going. And number 7, the business depends entirely on you. So here's the thing. Burnout is not really an emotional issue. It's a business strategy issue. Every time you overwork, micromanage, or carry the entire business in your back, you're creating leaks in your energy, in your time, and in your profits. The good news is, once you can name those signs, you can do something about it. And that's why I created the Burnout Audit. It's a simple tool that shows you where the leaks are so you can start plugging them today so you can truly step into leadership as a CEO. So if you've been listening to me and you're thinking, wow, some of this sounds just like me, I'm going to tell you, don't wait until you get completely burnt out. Because sometimes you're heading to a burnout, you don't really know that's where you're going. You just think you're just tired, but it's coming. You start to feel underappreciated, or you start to feel somewhat discouraged or not really motivated. Burnout is knocking at your door. So if you are thinking some of the things that I mentioned resonate with you, don't wait. Click on the link below to download the Burnout Audit right now. It's your first step to moving from exhaustion economy into significant impact and profit. Again, don't wait. Go below in the description and download the Burnout Audit, or you can go to ceoofyou.com. You can get it as well. But the link is in the description where you can download it. It's totally free. It will help you figure out where you're leaking energy and where you need to plug in so you can save your time, your peace, and your profit. If you enjoyed this episode, like it, give it a thumbs up, share it with another entrepreneur that you think could benefit from the content, and definitely hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Remember, you have the power to change your life. My mission is to help you not just build success, but actually enjoy it. Until next time, never forget you deserve a business that gives you significance, allow you to create amazing impact, and give you unlimited profit. See you next time.